Hello and welcome to Watch Releases Recap for the week of May 10th until May the 17th. Let's begin with Fortis and their new Amandi 24 Mars Analog Mission Timer. Fortis is known for their space-themed watches. Their watches travel to the International Space Station. I think one of their watches was on the moon. They have this rich history and, like many other watch brands, they're using it to their advantage. But you know what's cooler than traveling to the moon or into the outer space? Traveling to the Mars. Armenian and Austrian space agencies have partnered up and created this 4-week simulation for astronauts of what it would be like to be on Mars. Simulate these conditions, simulate the time, I guess, maybe the gravity. I don't know how it all worked, but that was the test. And watch brand Fortis partnered up with these space agencies and created this special watch for the Mars missions. It is very similar actually to a recent release from Fortis. That one was called Novanaut, and this one is sort of based on the same architecture with some differences. First of all, the case, even though the case diameter is exactly the same, it's made out of titanium as opposed to stainless steel like on the Novanaut. This one also features a titanium bracelet. The case diameter is 42 millimeters, it's 51 millimeters from one lug to another, and it's about 15 millimeters thick. It is on the thicker side because it's powered by an automatic chronograph movement, caliber WERK17, which is essentially a modified Valjoux 7750, beating at 28,800 vibrations per hour. It has 60 hours of power reserve and 26 joules. This movement is modified because if you are familiar with Valjoux movement, you know that it features a 12-hour counter by the 6 o'clock position. They actually removed the 12-hour counter and instead they added this logo, emblem, whatever you want to call it, for the partnership between the two space agencies. They also added a different bezel on this watch. The bezel here very clearly marks 10-minute increments because apparently that's how long it takes to communicate between Mars and Earth every time you send a signal. So the idea behind this is to sort of time it correctly. It's a limited edition to 100 pieces and it's priced at 6,100 euro or about 6,000 US dollars. Quite a bit of money for a watch like this. Moser Cie Streamliner Center Seconds Matrix Green and Purple Haze dials. In 2020, about 4 years ago, Moser Cie have released a watch called Streamliner Seconds Hand Matrix Green, and the watch community have nicknamed that watch the Green Dragon. 2024 is a year of dragon. And not to miss out on an excellent marketing opportunity, this watch is now re-released with some slight updates and tweaks. Visually, the biggest difference to me is the logo. This one is still featured by the 12 o'clock position, but it is sort of hard to see the way it's designed. I think it actually looks really good. I think they also increased the water resistance from 100 meters to 120 meters, and the case looks a little bit more streamlined. It's not a big difference, but I always liked the look of these Moser cases. I think they're so interesting because there is no lugs. It's sort of that cushion style integrated lug design that looks quite nice. There's also a purple haze version of this watch available. That one has been nicknamed the Jimi Hendrix already by the watch community, and I actually think that purple one looks even better than the green. It also features this sort of ghost-like logo design. Both watches are in exactly the same cases. They're about 40 millimeters in case diameter, 12.1 millimeters case thickness. They are both stainless steel cases, and they're both powered by the same caliber HMC 201 automatic movement. It beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It has 72 hours of power reserve, and it features an 18-karat gold rotor. It's a very handsome movement. It's finished to a very high standard. And of course, as you would imagine, this watch is not cheap. So both versions are priced exactly the same at 21,900 Swiss francs. So that's about what? 23,000 US dollars. Quite a bit of money, but if you see one of these watches out in the wild, you know that the person wearing it probably knows a thing or two about watches. The Citizen reference AQ4100-65L. L stands for limited edition. This is not the first limited edition in this series, these washi paper dial series. This is actually probably the fourth one that I have covered so far. And I really like this one. I think it's my favorite out of the bunch. So just like the previous versions, it comes in exactly the same case, 38.3 millimeters in case diameter, only 12.2 millimeters in case height. It's made out of super titanium, which is Citizen's proprietary way to create titanium. These ones are powered by an Eco Drive movement caliber A060, which is a very high-end version of an Eco Drive movement. It is an annual calendar, accurate to about plus or minus 5 seconds per year, and you only have to adjust it on the leap years since this is an annual calendar, and it has a power reserve of something like 8 months that you can just leave the watch without wearing it, without exposing it to any sunlight, and it will be completely fine. Very impressive technology going on here. But without a doubt, the star of this show is the dial. I really love how this dial looks. It creates that washi-like paper texture. Washi paper is a traditional Japanese paper that's been around for hundreds of years, and these Citizen watches are there to mimic washi paper. I think even some of the paper is integrated into the dial to create this wavy pattern. And what's cool is that each dial is unique. No two dials will be alike, which is kind of a cool touch. With all of that being said, as you would imagine, these watches are quite expensive, $4,425 US, and this limited edition is limited to 600 pieces. The new generation of Sinn 903, also known as the Sinn Navitimer. At a first glance, you look at this watch and you think, hey, Sinn just ripped off Breitling. But there is actually a story behind all of this. So back in 1970s, back when quartz crises were really destroying the Swiss watch industry, Breitling has actually sold off a bunch of their designs and movement patents to other companies. One of these companies was Sinn. They have purchased the rights to Navitimer design, and that's why Sinn can legally make these watches without any issues from Breitling. They have been making these 903 Navitimers for a very long time. Now in 2024 is just a slight upgrade and some new color dials. So first of all, as far as the upgrades, it features slightly different indexes on the dial. I think they have a little bit more lume and they're more pronounced. This one also features more water resistance. The previous version of this watch had 100 meters of water resistance. This new version actually comes with 200 meters of water resistance, which is really cool. And lastly, there are some new dial colors, including this sort of gray, almost baby blue-like shade. This shade looks very attractive, but for me personally, my favorite is still the blue and white reverse Panda. As far as the case sizes, I think they're more reasonably sized than Breitling, about 41 millimeter case diameter, 14.5 millimeters case height, and they're made out of stainless steel. Now, the reason why these watches are a bit on the thicker side is because of the movement. They're powered by the Lejeune Paret L110 movement, which is based on the Valjoux 7753. This one has 26 joules. It beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and it has 60 hours of power reserve. As far as the pricing goes, these ones are not limited edition. They will be added to the standard catalog, and there are two different price points, one for the bracelet, one for the strap. So first, on the leather strap, it's priced at about 3,250 euro. It's about the same in US dollars. And on a stainless steel bracelet, it's 3,550 euro. It's about the same in US dollars. I think the price for this watch is very reasonable. The only thing you will have to deal with is explaining to people that it's not a Breitling, it's a Sinn, and why Sinn can make these watches. So to some people that might be positive, to others that might be a negative. The new Casio G-Shock MR-G, the Frogman. Admittedly, I am no expert on Casio G-Shocks. I know there's so many versions and limited editions, etc., etc. But even I know what the Frogman is and how important this line of watches really is to the watch collecting community and to G-Shock themselves. It came out in 1993, and ever since we had many versions of this watch. The claim to fame for Frogman was the fact that it was an ISO certified 200 meters diver watch. It also had this sort of uneven case. It was lump-sided to one side, which kind of made it look unique and look different. Over the years, they have released quite a few different versions. Like last year, there was a titanium release. That one featured the blue colorway. Then later on, they released also the yellow colorway. And finally, now in 2024, for the 30th anniversary, as they claim, they are releasing the red version, which is sort of the most popular version of the Frogman. This one doesn't come in the resin or the rubber case. This one is actually made out of titanium, and the bracelet is made out of titanium. By all accounts, it's very light, very comfortable, and very durable. And it has all the cool features, like it doesn't feature a diving bezel, but you can set up to, I think, 30 different diver alarms or diver timers, so you can precisely time your diving times. This one also has Bluetooth connectivity. It also features radio connectivity. It has all the bells and whistles that you would expect from an expensive G-Shock. And oh boy, is this one an expensive G-Shock. It is priced at $5,800 US, almost $6,000 for this thing. Again, I am no G-Shock expert, but just seems crazy. It just seems way too much for this watch. You can still buy the resin versions online for like $500-600, so I have no idea where they pulled this number from. Just crazy. The new Piaget Polo Chronograph, now in Emerald Green. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this release because essentially it's the same Piaget chronograph, now executed with the green dial. It still comes in the same stainless steel case, 42mm case diameter, only 12.2mm in case height. It's still powered by the same caliber 1160p, which is a Cartier-based movement. It beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour. It features 50 hours of power reserve and 35 joules. The Green Panda colorway I think looks very sharp. I also like the integration of the date window at the 6 o'clock position. Usually these Piaget watches have very nice and high quality finish. Not a big fan to how the Piaget logo is integrated into the dial. I don't like when watch companies create almost like a platform for the logo. I think that looks off, and I'm not a big fan of the price, $20,400 US. That's way too much money for a watch like this, at least in my opinion. Mark my words, within 6 months, we're gonna see these watches on a gray market for about $15,000. And probably in the years to come, it's gonna be about $12,000-13,000, or about half of the MSRP. And that's it for this video. Those were the releases that I wanted to highlight. Thank you for watching all the way until the end. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what releases stood out to you personally. I always enjoy reading your comments. Also give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.